What happens when you feel unfairly targeted by an undeserved PIP or performance improvement plan? Most people wouldn't know what to do. Do I fight? Do I comply? Or do I lawyer up? Today, I want to share a recent case where someone in Singapore sued his company for $4.9 million after he was fired from what he felt was an unfair PIP. And wait for the surprising outcome at the end of the story. Once again, I'm not a lawyer, so here's my non-legal take on this incident. Let's call the employee Mr. P, who was the head of sales for a giant European software company. First incident, he had a conflict with a colleague over a client handover and fires off an email calling someone on the team incompetent. The email gets forwarded up the chain and his own boss sees it, and she becomes extremely unhappy. Strike one. Second incident, one of his guys changes a project timeline on a major project from 11 months to 8 months without telling the delivery team, and Mr. P sends him a scathing personal email, copied to several other senior leaders. His boss sees that too and tells Mr. P to write a formal apology, but Mr. P refuses. Strike two. In November 2018, his boss is already emailing HR to say that they are, and I'm quoting the actual email here, moving to full alignment on removing him. But they don't terminate him. Instead, they put him on a PIP in March 2019. In other words, shape up or ship out. Mr. P goes through it. He works hard and he thinks he's passing. But months later, his boss writes to HR wanting him out, and I quote, as soon as possible. November 2019, his employment was terminated. Unhappy with what he felt was an unfair termination, Mr. P sued the company for a whopping $4.96 million in lost earnings. After a grueling 11-day trial, the court ruled that the outcome of the PIP was preordained and Mr. P was doomed to fail. In other words, the PIP was a sham, just an excuse to fire Mr. P, and the judge sided with him. But instead of the $4.96 million he asked for, the judge awarded him, wait for it, $1,000. $1,000 only. So he won the legal argument, but he lost a lot more at the end of the day. And I don't even want to imagine how much legal fees he had to pay to his lawyers for an 11-day trial. So if you're ever in this situation, and today more PMETs are facing this than you think, here are 3 things you need to know when you're put on what you think amounts to an unfair PIP. Number 1, watch out for the signs. Even before the PIP arrives, when your boss suddenly starts mentioning that your performance is not up to scratch, or if he starts asking you for your weekly performance stats or deliverables and begins to drop hints about how you are not performing, it could be a sign that you are being targeted somehow. Ask him, why are you suddenly doing this? And create an email trail. I had a client who did just that, and his boss covered it up initially saying, no, it's nothing to do with your performance, I was just checking. And later, when the PIP arrived, he used that email as a solid defense. Number 2, if you feel it's a sham PIP, document the sham while it's happening. The moment you get the PIP, start writing things down immediately. Every meeting where the targets are given to you, where you are being assessed fairly or unfairly, every piece of feedback you receive or didn't receive, and most importantly, every goalpost that moved. If it's a genuine performance improvement plan, there should be coaching, remedial steps, and feedback. Also, start documenting your achievements and specific targets reached every Friday afternoon via email. Send it to your boss to keep a record that you're actually delivering. It's to your advantage that you start building a strong case very early on. Number 3, if you do feel that it's a really unfair dismissal that's coming, get a lawyer earlier on. Not after your PIP fails, not after you've been fired. The moment you sense something is off, get legal advice. Yes, lawyers aren't cheap, but there could be bigger costs involved if you don't get them in early in the game. Once your company realizes that you've lawyered up, often they're less likely to bully you, and most importantly, you will know how to respond in ways that will protect your own interests. Or alternatively, if you don't want to spend money, go talk to the TADM, which is the Tripartite Alliance for Dispute Management, about your situation. But some caveats: time it too early and you could risk escalating the issue prematurely. And file it more than 1 month after your termination, it would be too late. So do be mindful about the timing. So, if you are in an unfortunate situation where you are facing an unfair PIP, start actively taking steps immediately to protect yourself, because even if you win the case, you just might lose a lot more. As always, keep calm and career on.